Most people, they think of success like a movie montage. What do they show? They show Rocky taking a fight. They show Rocky running in the snow. They show him in the shed lifting some fucking rocks and like bench pressing sheep over his fucking head and all kinds of crazy shit. And went out and beat the shit out of fucking Drago. But it's not reality. But that's how people look at success. They look at it like you do a few things. I fucking ate right for 3 days. Why am I not a fucking fitness model? I did my tasks that I needed to do. I sent 5 emails. Why am I not running a $10 million company? Because they don't understand what mastering the monotonous means. It means doing the shit that most people are too fucking undisciplined to do day in and day out to the best of your ability. You have to literally visualize the connection between what you're doing on a day-by-day basis, aka the monotonous, with what you're wanting.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 15, Compin Atlanta. This one's going to be great. As always, I don't have my Spark People glasses on me today. I'm feeling a little bit naked. But I'm still smart and I'm beautiful and I love it. And I love all of you that are here ready to kick it in live and learn from some of this amazing stuff that we have to give out. So again, if this is your first time here, what is it that we do? Very simple. We're real estate investors and we are the rock stars of our industry. And it's essentially what we do is we help other individuals get deals done. That's really what we're about, right? A lot of people come from everywhere. I mean, we got people in here right now. Here we go. Show you some people that's just here saying, what's up, man? Just kicking in. Like it's a beautiful thing. And people are from all over the place. But here's the thing. That's great when we do a call like this. But when you're trying to learn how to do real estate and you're in a particular market, you want to learn and understand how your market works the best. You want to be able to comprehend, okay, here's what needs to get done. Here's why it needs to get done this way, because this is the market that you're in. And this is what Compin Atlanta is. Compin Atlanta is a show that we do every single Thursday at 3 p.m. live here on YouTube. And we also get this show over on the Facebook page. And I'll show you guys the Facebook page that we've created just to be able to have a place for us to communicate. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. When I first got started in this, this was not the game plan. Okay, the game plan was to come in and make tons of money doing real estate deals. That's what the game plan was. The crazy thing about it is, what's going on, Clayton? The crazy thing about it is, we understood something very, very quickly. Is that individually we can grow a successful business, and by the graces of God, that's exactly what we did. But we want to go further than just growing a successful business. We understand something very simple, and that is most people are having a very difficult time being able to do this. It's not as easy as it is. It's not as easy as they make it seem on the internet, right? I'm pretty sure here, if we took a quick poll, there's people here, if they're being honest, they'll tell you like, dude, I haven't had a deal in months, let alone creative deals, which is what I specialize in, right? I'm talking about just regular wholesaling deals. Some people haven't had a deal done in a year, 2 years. I want you guys to understand, you guys and you girls, that is not normal, but it's expected. And on Compin Atlanta, what we do is we help you break through those barriers by first understanding the market that you're doing business in, and then also helping you, giving you a bunch of other stuff that you need as an entrepreneur. So as you guys saw at the beginning of the video, I have something new that I'm going to do. I actually got this idea from my guy, Brent Daniels. Shout out to Brent Daniels and Jamil and Pace, my guy, Pace. My gosh, like I was down in Arizona over the last couple of days, over the weekend, and it was an amazing time to be able to go down and connect with all of those guys, but also all of my fam that I haven't seen. Some people I've only seen for the first time on Zoom, and so this was the first time meeting them face to face. So it was super, super dope. But more importantly, I got to connect to a lot of people. And again, and I said this when I was talking to one of the guys down there, like, it's always a fun time when entrepreneurs link up with other entrepreneurs. It's just something about being able to connect to another entrepreneur that, is like you don't even have to say anything. They understand what you're currently going through because they currently are going through the same thing, right? It's one of those crazy, like, type of things. And nonetheless, that's what we provide here in our Facebook group. I'm gonna show you guys in a second. The Facebook group that we have is set aside just to be able to do that, just to be able to connect with other individuals who are in the marketplace that are doing real estate, and you want to be able to get some help. You want to be able to find out, like, hey, what are you doing that's working? You want to be able to do JV deals. You want to be able to find connections. In fact, the name of the group is called Atlanta ATL Elite Connections. Here, let me show you guys right now so you see what I'm talking about. Boom, here it is right here. This is the group here. And this is all we do in this group. You see, it's 603 people in this group. This is a fairly new group. We actually just started this thing. And when you come in, I mean, obviously you see me live right here. Man, that boy look good. Don't he look good? Jeez. But you got tons of resources you'll find in this group. I mean, in this group alone, you'll find cash buyers. You'll find contractors. Okay. You'll find people who specialize in creative financing and things of that nature. And so it's super, super important for you to be able to connect and have a place to connect. So I always recommend go to the Facebook group. I'm always in there. You can always hit me up. If you message me, I'll get it, but it's actually better to just shoot me a text message or an email because I get it faster, right? And then other than that, the YouTube page. Some of you guys are watching me off of YouTube. You can possibly watch off of the Facebook page. Like I said, we're streaming here, and I'm also streaming on my personal page. But for the most part, you want to be able to have a place where you can connect. Now, on the hey, Lewis, what's going on? On the YouTube channel, especially, we answer questions that are on there, right? We get questions answered, and I'll jump into that actually because one of the first questions that somebody had asked about a week ago, which was pretty dope, right? It shows that people were kind of listening to and going back and watching some of the old episodes. It said that, hey, listen, where do I go to look up an agent's past transactions? Like, how do I check to see if an agent is, like, active, and what kind of agent are they, right? Okay, hey, somebody dropped the Facebook page in the chat. Absolutely, my guy. I got you right now. I think Yolanda actually just beat you to saying that same thing. So that's cool. So I just posted in the chat. Let me know if you can see it. But again, the name is ATL Real Estate. I'm sorry, ATL Elite Real Estate Connections. So let me show you guys how to use this page right here. It's fairly simple, really, really good. But what you want to do is this. You want to be able to just go to Google and you want to type in the agent's name and Georgia MLS. So it should look like this. This is how it should look, right? Obviously, you don't type on Google, right? But let me see. Who's the agent? In fact, let's look up an agent. We're gonna jump into this really quick. Let's go to PropStream. Log in right quick. And let's find a random property. Let's do just sold. Oh wait. Am I doing something wrong? Oh, here. Let's do failed listings. Just sold. Type this one up. All right. MLS details. And let's see if we can find so this is the listing. number, but we're not getting the person. So let's do our market instead. We'll come in here. There we go. All right, so here's the agent. Oh man, I am about to butcher this name. We'll just go with Robinson. I don't want to disrespect them like that. So here we go. We're gonna do Robinson, the last name, put their first name on there, change that, and boom. And there you go. Now you have the agent's information, and you should be able to just punch it in through this site. There it is. Here is the agent that we were just looking at. Here's the contact information. Even though you obviously don't need to do this search if you're doing the contact information because you already would have had it. But here's all her recent and active listings, right? So here we go. We see this one's a nice looking one. Sold this in 317 area. This is a nice looking one, 316, 317, 316. So just by looking through this, I can kind of see like, oh, okay, well, it looks like she likes this area. 310, she got 358 here, but for the most part, she's typically in the hot zones. So what does that mean, and why do I need this information? Well, if I know that she's typically in the zones, and judging by what type of properties. So let me give you guys an example. All these properties so far that I'm seeing as in these areas look like they're properties that were renovated. All right. Boom. All right. So that looks like that's a good one. Let's go to another one real quick. This one right here. This looks like it was recently renovated. So if that's the case, then it's safe to say that this agent right here, Ms. Robinson, more than likely has connections with investors that are doing fix and flips in that area. That's why this is important to be able to know. If she knows those agents, would it make sense for me to give her a call and say, hey, glad to meet you, right? Shout out to Dana. Glad to meet you. I actually been seeing you produce and I want to connect with you. I have a property I'm looking to sell. You look like you work with a lot of investors. Can we make something happen? Let's get charged up together, right? And she'll gladly accept that. And you won't be wasting your time because, hey, I know she does business in these areas. So that's a cool trick. Again, take the agent's name and all you got to do is type in Georgia MLS right here. So that's a tip that we had got from one of our viewers from last week, and I wanted to make sure that we sent that out. Now, I got some friends that decided to join in today. They wanted to get some extra help. And again, what we typically do on this show is we comp properties, we underwrite deals, and then I'll tell you exactly like, hey, here's what you need to get the property at. If you need help talking to the seller, we'll call the seller right here and right now. And the goal is for you to get the property under contract. Now, the great thing about this show is what most of you don't know is I have a lot of friends of mine that buy properties. They buy properties the same way I buy properties. And what they've been doing, they've been telling me recently is like, yo, I tune into your show and see what deals you have. Now, I thought that made sense because I was like, how is it that you text me last Thursday at like 4:00 and you just like, yo, I want that. Like, were you watching or whatever? You know what I mean? And that's the thing. They're watching the show and they're picking the deals. So you guys are coming on here saying, here, I got something. It might be a deal. I don't know if it is or not. We do the whole underwriting. And he's legit. The one guy I was talking about, he's legit just sitting in this crib, you know, eating popcorn, got this on the big screen, and he's like, yep, I want that one. And shoots me a text. So we've actually had deals that close that way. So it's a beautiful, beautiful thing to be able to do so. And for us to be able to provide for that. And that's free. That's all free. That's something that we do. And we're going to continue to do it. Now, I do have another show that's getting ready to start. We're trying to work on the timing of it. But before I talk about the other show, I want to give you guys exclusive access to our next event. So the next event that we have, you can actually go to eventbrite.com. We normally post our events on there. So you go to eventbrite.com and you'll be able to see our next event. And I'm going to show it to you guys right now, right live. All right, so here's what we got going on. This one's going to be dope. This is going to be dope. All right, so we got some questions coming in. I love it. I will definitely answer your questions as soon as I get done this last announcement here. All right. So we got an event coming out. It's going to be on October the 13th. It's called the Deal or No Deal Comping event. It's going to be a live comping event. Here's what's going to go on. This is going to be super dope. This is an idea that I came up with. I got with my team and we're like, yo, what do you think about doing an event like this? So you show up to the event and we're going to have a panel right now. I think we have 4 or 5 active cash buyers in Atlanta. I want to make sure I'm clear so you guys understand what I mean by that. Yes, there is cash buyers and then there's active cash buyers. Active cash buyers are buyers who have been buying in the last 30 days and they're looking to buy more properties. Those are people you want to do business with. Those are people you want to build a relationship with. Okay. So we got at least, last time I checked, I have 4. I'm waiting for the confirmation of the 5th one. We're going to have a panel of 5 cash buyers. And they're going to do this. They're going to first show you how they comp properties. That's the first thing. You're going to get 5 people who's going to show you either the same way they comp properties or 5 total different ways that they comp properties. Now, what do you need to do? You just need to be there. Because when you walk out, I promise you, I'm going to get you direct access to 5 cash buyers that are actively buying in your marketplace. And all you need to do is bring you one of these, a notepad and a pen to take notes. And on the top, you're going to put Eddy, and you're going to put the criteria that Eddy has, what he looks for, where he likes to buy, what, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Then the next buyer is going to speak and you're going to do that. So now you got 5 cash buyers. When you go pull your data, pull your list, or do whatever it is that you get for your leads, you're not just doing what I call spray and pray. You're not pulling a whole list of 10. No. If you know Eddy is only buying 30318, guess where you're going to pull data from? 30318. It just makes sense. If you know that I'm buying in a different area or somebody else is buying in a different area, you're going to pull from those areas. And why do you want to do that? This is what people call reverse wholesaling. The reason why you want to do that is because you know if you get a deal in the contract, then you already have a buyer who's willing to pay you for that deal, and they will pay you handsomely or beautifully, whichever it is you choose to be, right? They're going to pay you because you are bringing them exactly what they're looking for. How many people here have gotten a deal in the contract and was like, yes, I did the hard part. I got a deal in the contract. Now it's time to sell this bad boy. And you could not find a buyer to save your life. Anybody? Am I the only one who had that struggle? Anybody had that issue where it was just like, man, I got this deal, but I can't find a buyer. That's it. There you go. There you go. Yep. That's an issue that people have. And a lot of times you don't even know why you can't find a buyer. You have no idea like what's going on and et cetera, et cetera. Well, a lot of it has to do with the fact that you're buying at the wrong price. You're not buying at the right price, and you're not buying with the express intent to sell it to a buyer. You're just spray and pray. You know what I mean? You're just like, hey, listen, I got a deal. It's a deal. And why do we do this? Well, it's because when we were taught on the internet, if you got a deal, right? If you got a deal, that all you need to do is get the deal on the contract and then the buyer will appear. That is bullshit, especially in this market. Excuse my French or English or whatever you want to call it. Especially in this market. A buyer will not appear if you get it on the contract, especially if you're in the wrong neck of the woods, because they're no longer buying there. And I also want to say this. People who are like, oh, I got it, it's in a hot zip code. That does not mean anything, especially in this market. The days of the hot zip code are dead. It's done. All right. And so what's going to happen is you get to come to this event. You get 5 cash buyers. We're going to tell you exactly how we comp. We're going to tell you exactly what we're looking for. And then the other side of the meeting is you guys get to come. Mel's like, yes, that's the truth. It'd be wild out here in these streets. They be telling you, like, just get a good deal on the contract. You'll find a buyer. Come on. You guys get to come with your leads or your deals. So if you got something on the contract, you get to come to the panel and one of us will buy that deal from you on the spot. We will pay you anywhere from $10K and up for any deal that you bring. Hands down, right then and there. So on October 13th, if you bring more than one deal, you can have more than one of the cash buyers purchasing your deals. You can walk out with assignment checks getting ready to get spent already. You know how we do, right? So, oh, I got an assignment. We already start picking out what we about to get. Like, yeah, you know what? I need to get them new shoes I was thinking about. And, you know, I want to do all this extra stuff, which is great, But I want you guys to be able to operate as business owners, right? I got some people in the backstage and we're going to bring them on soon in just a little bit. But I want to show you guys like how important it is to operate as business owners so that you can be able to grow this from just a hobby to an actual business. All right. So that's what we're going to be doing. That's going to be October 13th. You can go to Eventbrite. If you just type in, our name. So if you just type in, actually, if you type in this right here, the deal or no deal, it'll pop up. But also if you type in the name of the Facebook group, Atlanta Elite REI Connections, you'll be able to go in, get the ticket. And here's what you do. Once you register, take a screenshot of your ticket and send me a DM. Shoot me a DM. Of course, you guys know how to get a hold of me, but if you don't, you can find me on This Dad Flips on IG. I'll put it right across the stage for you guys. This Dad Flips. That's IG. And on, obviously, it's my name, Eddy, EDDY, Charger on Facebook. All right, so that's what's going on in our neck of the woods. That's going to be October 13th. Starting next week, we got another show that's going to come out. We're working on the day right now. I might put a poll out and get a better understanding of what day works best for everybody, because I want people to be able to learn from it. The good thing is it's going to be recorded, so that's nothing you have to worry about. But we're going to be doing what I call a new series, and it's going to be called Here's Why Your Deal is Trash. Hashtag respectfully. All right. Here's why your deal is trash. Hashtag respectfully. Now, this is important. This is not going to be a bashing session or nothing like that. It's going to be a way to be able to get a better understanding of why your deal did not sell. Right? You're going to be able to get an understanding of why you're having an issue with, moving deals. What's going on with that? And so we're going to go over that. It won't even necessarily be live. It's going to be a group of individuals on a Zoom call. We'll go over it and then I'll post it for you guys. So that's some content you have to look forward to. It's going to be fun. It's going to be great. And again, look out for that. Mel likes the name. I love it. It's going to be, can you put the link? Wait, can you put the link in the YouTube chat? Oh, yes, I got you. I'll throw the link in the chat right now. But yes, it's going to be why your deal is trash. So here's the link for the event right here. And again, remember, once you get the event, take a screenshot, send it to me so that you registered, and then you can be able to, I think we're going to offer food and everything like that. So we won't make this expensive. None of our events are actually that expensive. We'll actually just collect money for the food and drinks. So that way everything's good. We all come in and have a good time. So that's that. Let's get started. We got tons of questions coming in the chat, and I want to bring my guys onto the stage. So, Kareem and Ortiz, if you guys have access to your computers or to your screens, I should say, can you guys show your faces? Can we get the faces popping? Can we do it? Can we do it? That's the link right there. All right. Mr. Ortiz, what's going on, man?
Yeah.
There it is. There it is. How are you, bro?
Huh?
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fantastic. I'm fantastic.
Yeah.
Here's one of the things before we jump into what we're gonna work on today. I want to make sure that you guys are doing, and I see it happening in the chat, is communicate. Talk in the chats. If you're on YouTube, that's where you're definitely going to be able to get the better benefit because the chat is live. But you want to talk. You want to tell people where you're buying deals, if you're looking for deals, if you have a deal. There's individuals that's in this chat that can solve your problem that you're currently having today, and you're missing the opportunity by not sharing what it is you're looking for, what you need. All right. So, Mr. Ortiz, we're going to get rolling with you in a second. I want to answer a question that we had here from, let me go up to it. All right, here it is. Eddy, when I am comping and I use 3 different comps, 3 different prices, which one of the prices should I use for MAO? The lowest, the middle, or the largest? It's a great question. Let me introduce my guy Kareem before we answer that question. Kareem, how you doing, bro?
Yes, how you doing? How you doing? I'm sorry about that. Somebody was just calling me. The agent was just calling me, so I just just bad timing. My bad about that.
Nah, no problem, man. Tell the agent stop playing, get on this live. So, you know what I mean? You want to make some money, get on this live. No,
definitely.
love it. All right, so let's answer this question first and foremost for Mr. I'm probably gonna mess this up, Medina. All right, so how do you do it? It depends on what kind of comps you're trying to get. Okay, there's 2 comps that I use. The first comp is I look for properties that are already fixed up, that look fixed up, they sold on market, and I would take the top 3 comps. So they have to actually match. They have to be my comps. Okay, I'll take the top 3, and then I would divide them. Well, I would add it all together, divide it by 3, and now I have my maximum allowable offer. All right. Now, there is another set of comps that I use, and that is for when I'm doing, if I'm trying to find out what my cash buyers will pay for a deal. So let's make sure that we're clear here so you guys understand exactly what I'm talking about. So your cash buyers and your maximum allowable offer, the one that you get the highest ARVs, and then you add them all together and divide it by 3, and you do all that math. Those are 2 different buyers. The one where we're talking about the maximum allowable offer is for people who are buying properties on market. So the typical mom and dad who's has 3.2 kids and a dog, and they're like, let's go house shopping. That's the numbers that you want to pay attention there. Now, why as investors do we pay attention to that at all? It's very simple, actually. It's because as a fix and flipper, I want to know what my client, which would be the new age family, I want to know what my client would be willing to pay for a property that is all fixed up, because that's what I do. I'm a fix and flipper. I'm gonna take a property, all right? I'm gonna take this cup, fix it up, and then I'm gonna sell it. And I want to get a better understanding of what would you, this new family, be willing to pay me for my cup, all fixed up. The other way to do it, which is a quick and dirty way, which I like, especially if you can't really find the comps that you need when you're trying to do it the ARV way, or the mail way, I should say. That way is very simple, and the way it works is like this: you look on the MLS, or you look at Zillow, or you look at whoever, wherever, quick and dirty, absolutely. What you want to do is look at those and go look at the bottom three. Now, the bottom three. So I'm talking about the lowest prices paid for properties in this area. Excuse me. Now, who would buy properties at the lowest prices? Would it be that new family that I'm talking about? Kareem, what do you think?
Well,
so if I'm talking about properties that are I'm looking at the value of them, then I see what did they sell for, and I see, okay, these properties here sold for the lowest prices possible. Do you think those people who bought those properties, were they like a family that's trying to move into it, or were they an investor?
It's probably an investor.
It's probably an investor. Absolutely. Right? And so if I'm already looking to see what investors are paying for, all I have to do is just compare. All I have to do is compare my property to that property. What do I mean by that? Okay, we already know how we do comps, right? We got to compare apples to apples, right? So what I'm doing is I'm saying, okay, my house looks like this. It looks horrible. But this property here that an investor paid for it, they paid $200,000 for it. And my property actually looks better than the property that the investor brought for $200,000. Same comps, we're just talking about the looks now. What kind of shape is it in? So, Ortiz, are you still here?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna ask you this question. If the investors are paying $200,000 for a property that looks worse than my property that I'm trying to get under contract with the seller, does that mean that I could essentially sell this property for more than $200,000?
Yeah.
Would I find a buyer that'd be willing to pay for that property?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
So if that's the answer, now the question is like, well, damn, what do I need to get this under contract with the seller? Anything you can get it under contract lower than what your investor is willing to pay is your spread. So in this example, if I knew my investor was willing to pay 200 grand and my property looks better, if I can get this property for 190, I know guaranteed I'm making 10K. I call that the quick and dirty way to be able to get a price down. And I'm actually going to show you guys an example of it. But before we do that, let's talk to our guest. So Mr. Ortiz, man, tell me a little bit about yourself and what you're doing and why you wanted to come on the show today. Can you hear us?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
So I have never done my first deal. So I want to know how to start wholesale.
Okay, awesome. I love it. And how long have you been trying to wholesale?
I think 1 month.
1 month. Okay, perfect. So you're pretty much brand new. I love that. I love that for you. Congratulations, actually, because a lot of people are just standing by on the sidelines and they don't want to get started because they're too afraid to. Right? But not only are you getting started, but you also are deciding to come on here so that we can be able to talk shop on how to be able to help you. So good, kudos to you on that. So we're gonna get started with that on you, and now that's gonna be our takeaway. Kareem, tell us a little bit about yourself, man. What you got going on?
How you doing, man? Thanks for having me, man, and just even accepting me and answering my DM and stuff like that. That's not even my Instagram. That's just my friends' ones because I don't have an Instagram. But yeah, as far as me, I've been doing wholesaling probably for about 3 months full time.
Okay.
I haven't gotten a deal yet. I know one is coming, but I haven't gotten one yet. I'm in a couple different markets. I'm in the Atlanta market, Las Vegas. Well, I'm just mainly in those two. I'm really going heavy with those two markets. Yeah, like I said, I haven't gotten a deal, but I've been doing a lot of agent outreach. Building them relationships with a lot of agents, and I've been getting it's crazy. I actually been getting a lot like under contract. Some like I have like at least I think one under contract now, but it's just dispoing it and getting it off. So it's just having a little trouble with that. I've been doing like a lot of like the same thing you've been doing, like reverse, as far as finding out sold properties around the way. And I've been using Privy, so I find out those, and I've been calling the agents and asking, I just been asking, I was asking would the investor be interested in more, purchasing more investment properties. So that's usually how I go about that. And most of the time, most of the time they, they say send it to them, and most of the time, sometimes the buyer is the agent. So I talk to them. But yeah, I haven't gotten a deal yet, but I know it's process, and I'm just trying to be consistent. Sometimes it's frustrating because I have been doing it for like 3 months full time, and but I just keep pushing. So
that's the key right there, man. The key is to keep pushing. A lot of times we honestly feel that like, hey man, like it looks like everybody out here getting it. Like, damn, like when don't we get a deal done? Like, when is this gonna happen? When that's gonna happen? And I would tell you guys that the hardest part, and that's one of the reasons why I played the video that I did in the beginning of the show. The hardest part of this game is being able to withstand, right? It's being able to do the mundane things over and over and over again without seeing the results yet, and still being able to know, like, all right, it's coming. Because that's the truth. It is. Because there's two main things that's happening while this is going on. The first thing is your skills is getting better, right? It would be hard pressed for me to ask you both right now, like, hey, do you feel your knowledge of the game is the exact same way it was when you first got started?
I mean, for me, for me, definitely my skills has been, getting better. I mean, on the phone, and just, just knowledge about it, and just speaking about real estate, and just speaking to buyers, and agents. It definitely been getting better, and that's it, really.
Perfect.
But it has been getting better though.
Absolutely, and it
So.
will, and it will continue to
Yeah.
get better. So here's something I want to leave with you guys, right? And I don't know what kind of marketing you guys are doing yet, and we'll go over that in a second. But here's what I'm going to leave. Let's say you guys chose to do cold calling. Okay. How many calls would you make in order to make, let's call it 100 grand?
Cold calling.
How many calls would you make? Like, would you have a cutoff? Like, would you be like, look, to make 100 grand, I probably make like 50 calls?
You talking about through agents? Because that's usually what I do. I do a lot of
Anything.
agents.
Anything. It could be agents.
To get
It could
like
be direct to
100.
seller. Yeah. To
Probably,
make 100 grand. To make 100 grand in the next 24 months, how many phone calls would you make?
It's in the thousands.
Is it in
Probably
thousands?
something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. Probably.
What if it was to make 200 grand?
Probably, probably more than that. Probably double, maybe.
Give me a number. Throw some numbers out.
To make 200, probably. I don't know. Usually they say 200 calls, you get your first deal. Around that. I mean, I've been close to that, so probably. I don't know, 2,000 calls, maybe.
2,000 calls. Okay. All right.
3,000 calls, maybe.
Would you make 10,000 calls?
Yeah.
Right. Mel
I mean, if I'm definitely gonna make that, I'm definitely go push for how many I can to reach that number.
But that sounds daunting though, right? Like I'm not trying to make
Yeah.
this sound like it's easy. Like 10,000 calls, legit. Let's be for real. That is not easy.
Nah,
That's
you're
gonna
right.
take hard work. Out of 10,000 calls, you know how many people are gonna curse you out? A large amount of those people is gonna give you the business over the phone. I'm telling you that right now, right? But I know somebody personally, a very good friend of mine, who taught. He was one of the individuals that got me started in this game. He made 10,000 calls by himself, no team, just him and Mojo Dollar. You want to know how much he made? He made $700,000 by himself, one man team.
Yeah.
Right? The question isn't when am I going to get my first deal? The question is how long am I willing to continually do what needs to be done to hit my goal? Right? If your back was against the wall, how much would you do? How many phone calls would you make? If my back's against the wall, I'm making calls until I lose my voice and my knuckles is bleeding. Right? If you guys want this, you got to go after it. And not everybody's doing the same marketing. So just take what you're doing and download what I'm saying into what you're doing. Because this is the mentality that you need, especially when you're starting off. Because this is not easy, especially where we're at in the marketplace. All right. I want to tell you guys, if this was a year and a half ago, legit, by accident, you could walk outside and wholesale a deal. I mean, like you wasn't trying to wholesale a deal. It just happened. Like you went to the grocery store. Somebody was talking about real estate. You was like, well, I buy houses sometimes, whatever. It was like, well, look, buy my house. I'll sell it to you for $1. You'd be like, all right, well, and you did everything you could to like not do the deal, and somehow you still ended up with 10,000. That's how easy it was about a year and a half ago, 2 years. The market is completely different now, so it makes it a little bit more challenging. But I want you guys to understand this secret. In 2008, when the market went crazy because of the other powers that was forcing that, the market went down. Those who sold their houses and got out of real estate never recovered. Those who stayed in and understood and took the time to now learn, like, damn, like what's happening, go through the hardships. Every last one of them now are multimillionaires. I can guarantee you, if they kept going. Right? So I'm saying that to you guys for some encouragement that you're in the right space, you're in the right place, and all you really got to do right now is just keep going, right? Focus in, and you're doing everything right. I want to give a shout out to Gabrielle. She said she is buying creatively, and she's looking for a duplex or a triplex so she can house hack. Very smart. Very smart. I don't know why Facebook always does this. It blocks you, but I know who you are. So definitely reach out to her if you guys know anybody that can help her out with that. All right, so let's get started. I'm gonna share my screen and I'm gonna help both of you guys out at the same time because essentially both are in the same space, believe it or not. But first, I want to start with this. I think this is a good opening. So here we have, good morning, Eddy. This was my guy, Theo. Shout out to Theo. He left this message for us on the YouTube page. And I want you guys to know, I check all of these messages. So feel free to leave a message or comment on the page. It actually helps out a lot because it makes it easier for me to go to one place to be able to look at everything. So hope you're well. Fellow Sub 2, shout out to Sub 2, member in the house in Atlanta. Oh, speaking of Sub 2 Atlanta members, we're actually going to do an event for Sub 2 members. It's going to be October the 9th. So definitely look out for details. You guys are already in Sub 2, so you know where to go to look for those. That's going to be fun. We got some superstars from out of town that's coming in just to come hang out and do something. So, all right. Sub 2 member in Atlanta Metro, subscribe during the Elephant Challenge. Elephant Challenge is amazing. Shout out to my guy Pace. I have a question. So at this section, you mentioned 30318 is a hot zip code. May I ask, what is your personal creation on determination of hot zip codes? All right, here we go. So, what makes a hot zip code? A hot zip code is, and if you have privy, this is really good. In fact, let's go to privy. I'm gonna go to privy because I think it's better for me to show you than to tell you. All right, so we're gonna go to privy right quick. All right, so here's privy. If you have privy, it's a great software. I think one of these days we'll have Benson come on, kind of give like a walkthrough in Atlanta, some secret sauce. We haven't done it yet because I mean he's been on so many things, and I'm like, there's so many different videos of Benson. Like you could literally just type in get privy, and you know what I mean, you would have been good to go. Like I said, I haven't pulled up, following along. Let's go. Let's do it. All right. So, what are hot zip codes? Hot zip code is an area that has had more investor activity than other areas. In Atlanta in particular, you have the sectors like 30318, 30317, 30315. There's actually a video you guys could watch. If you need me to, I'll do a video going over it and just post it on how to be able to find the hottest zip codes in any market. But this right here is a very quick and easy way without having to get data. But let me show you guys what I mean. So right here, obviously, 108, 177, 141. These are the hottest places in Georgia. Everywhere else is in low double digits. Edgewood, 93. So it's up there, right? But it's not touching, you know what I'm saying, like this little back area right here. So let's go into this back area. Let's really break it down so we can see.
I have a question.
Yeah.
As far as the percentage, what's the percentage you put in for privy? Like when you put on the you know, looking for properties and stuff like that.
So if I'm looking for properties right now, I'm just trying to see where the hottest zip codes is. But if I'm looking for properties, right now I'm trying to see what I can get that's 50% below.
Okay. So
right?
as far as Atlanta, like when I'm looking for properties, go to like 50% when I'm putting in a filter for 50%.
I would start there. Yeah, I would start with 50% below. The reason why you want to start there, Kareem, is because I don't want to waste time. I want to find properties that are already below ARV substantially because I know my buyers right now, they are looking for a deal.
Okay.
Like if you send me a property, it got to be a deal, or I'm not even wasting my time.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because two things. One, the market's totally different now. So now I get to pick and choose which property I can put my crews on. A year ago, 2 years ago, I was looking like a crackhead. I just needed a property to buy so I can get my crew on there. There wasn't enough, right? Last time I checked MLS data, Atlanta alone was up 14, 15,000 active listings. I want you guys to understand 6 months ago, so like January, February area, I should say, there was 7,000 listings in Atlanta. We've more than doubled that in just a few months. So the market has changed. It has shifted. So here's what you do. So right here, you see it's a little bit too zoomed in. So I'll zoom out a little bit. Okay, so here, 122 over here, right? You see right here, it's 85 is coming up. This is how you know what hot zip codes are. I just click fix and flip. And right now it's showing me all the areas that have a bunch of fix and flips that are going on, and that's listed. Here's the thing about hot zip codes, and I want to make sure I'm clear because I feel like a lot of times people will go, they'll take this and be like, bet, let me go pull data in this area. All right, bet, let me get my little marker here. Boom. I'm gonna grab this little pencil thingy. All right, they said this hot, this hot, this hot. Bang, oh, I'm about to kill it. I'm about to kill this thing. They don't even know, bro. It's a wrap. And what you're not understanding is, and this is why it's so important to have an understanding of your market. The hot zip codes in Atlanta come with a bunch of extra stuff. What do I mean by that? What I mean is if you buy, let's say 30315, there's two main things that you're going to have to think about off rip. First thing is, do I need to pull permits? Because if you have to pull permits, and typically you have to pull permits if there's like major electrical work or if there's major plumbing work that needs to be done, anything that the city needs to come out and double check, like, oh, let me take a look at this before you cause a bigger issue. That is called get your permits. If you have to pull permits, you have to first try to see if you can get those permits pulled. A lot of times the city where you get it pulled at is backed up. Why is that important? If you're a normal wholesaler, if you haven't done fix and flips yet and stuff like that, you have no clue what that means. Like, to you, you're like, I mean, okay, so what? What does that mean? What that means is this. It means every day that a fix and flip job is still getting done, it typically costs the investor $1,000. So could you imagine now if I had to wait an extra 2 weeks for permits? I just lost $14,000 in holding costs. You see why the numbers don't make sense sometimes?
Yeah.
You see why, like, if you don't know that information, you send a deal over to a investor, and you're like, wait, why I don't understand? Why you don't like the deal? Because they're looking at different margins than you are. So permits being pulled is one thing. In hot markets, the other issue is when you have to get permits being pulled, you got to be able to go back and have an inspection done. So you need the city to set up an inspector. Now, in my lifetime, the only person that used to take forever to come to an appointment was the cable guy, right? Because the cable guy would straight up tell you, we'll be there between 8 and 9. What's up, man? We'll be there between 8 and 9. And hold on, we'll be there between 8 and 5. That's what they tell you. Go ahead, get that. Right? So they tell you between 8 and 5, and you just there all day. You don't know exactly when they come in. You just like, man, what? My day is shot. Then city inspectors, they will give you a week or 2 weeks notice of we can stop by any of these times. Again, more money being wasted. So this is why a lot of investors have pulled out of these areas, even though they're considered hot zip codes. They pulled out those areas because they don't want to waste the time. Think about it. If I have to wait close to an extra 4 weeks just to start doing the work, I could have been in Stone Mountain putting in work on a property that would have cost me less money because it's cheaper, and it would have been much faster to get the work done. Too risky, exactly. It's too risky. It's not worth it, even though the margins seem big. So when you guys are looking at hot zip codes, keep that in mind. Does that mean that there's not deals in hot zip codes? Absolutely, there are deals. But you really have to understand, okay, how does this relate to my buyer? Which is why you want to have a relationship with your cash buyers. That's why I'm doing the event that I'm doing on the 13th. So you can meet real life cash buyers and ask them those questions, because every buyer is different. So you'll be able to get that. So Alan has a question here. Alan says, so the lowest in 30318 sold for 136, but it was November 18th, 2001. How far back should we be accepting? That's a great question. So first answer is you definitely cannot use this as a comp. Normal standard for a comp is 6 months. 6 months. All right, that's the normal standard for comps. In this market, or I'll tell you this, my team right now, my team is looking at 3 months or sooner. So we'll first start at 30 days, we'll do 60 days, then we'll do 90 days. I'm rarely going back 6 months. The reason being is because 6 months ago, the market was two total different things. Right, and you can actually tell. Like, let me switch over to prop stream real quick. Right, so here, Go to prop stream. Let's pull this property. Well, no, this is vacant land. Let's do single family. All right. Let's pull this property. Let's do comps. I just pulled a random property, right? I didn't do anything special. Let's go to MLS and let's do 6 months. Now mine is always set to a year for some strange reason. I'm not sure. But here we go. Let's do 6 months and let's click on amount. All right. So now if we look here, we can actually see. Now this right here, if you're using PropStream and you see this, obviously the house did not sell for $1,490. Right? That's not what happened. What happened is these are rent. It was a property that was listed for rent, and that's how it got there. All right. Now here is trying to see if I can. I was trying to see if I can slide over so I can show you guys, but it's not quite working. But essentially, what you do is you can match the date that is sold, and you can see if the prices are going up or down. So in this area, you see this one back in April, 250. This one 257. This one in September, this month here, sold for 280. This one was last month. Now, the sucky part about this that I don't know why it's doing that right now is I can't show you guys. Here, let me do this instead. Let's do 4 bedrooms since this is the actual. So at least now I know all these are 4 bedrooms. All right, so this to me is what I would consider a hot market. This zip code 30349. This is a hot market in my mind. Because if you look, the market is going crazy, but these houses, 4 bedrooms, the value of them is going up. Now, granted, again, we haven't seen the rest of the details on here. Let me try to scoot this over. Maybe we can cheat a little bit here. All right, so 4 bedroom. This was 42 days on market. This was 47. This was 23. Let's see if we can get the year built. Again, I'm not sure why it's doing that, but we are entrepreneurs. We won't let that stop us. So here we go. So year built, 2004. This one was a 1960, and it sold for the most, which is pretty freaking cool. Let's see what that was about. All right, so this was just a cash sale, 4 bedroom. Nothing too crazy, actually. Okay, so it looks like it's just a decent house in great shape. All right, so that's how it would look like it. You said if you make your screen smaller and scroll the bar. Let's try that. Let's see if you got the answers, Michelle. No, it didn't do it. Didn't do it. But that's fine though. We'll get over it. All right. So I hope that answered your question, Alan. I typically like to do 3 months or 60 days or 30 days even to really get a better understanding of comps. All right. The prop screen. This is, I don't know. I don't know, Michelle. Can you guys see the screen well though? Hopefully you can see the screen well. It's not causing too much issues. All right, so Mr. Ortiz, are you with me?
Yeah.
All right, so you want to know where to get started. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start here.
How can I make an offer to the seller?
Wait, say it again.
How can I make an offer to the seller?
Okay, that's what I was about to ask you. I was about to ask you like where you need help. So you want to know how can you make an offer to the seller? Are you having problems knowing what to offer, or are you having problems just like being able to communicate the conversation? How's the conversation go?
Both.
Both. Okay. So, Ortiz, you are a great example of what I would recommend most people to do, which is earn while you learn. Right? I thoroughly believe in that. A lot of my guys that I look up to did that, started that way. I started that way. In fact, there's a gentleman here in Atlanta. I followed him. I heard him on a podcast. He was killing. He was doing like six figures already in real estate. Now he's doing multiple millions, but he was doing six figures in real estate. I heard him on a podcast. I tracked him down. I said, listen, I will babysit the kids. I will clean the car. I will wash the laundry. I will cut the grass. I literally said those things to him. It was the first time I ever met this guy. I just want you to let me be around while you're doing your thing. I will help you do whatever it is that you do in your business, and I'll do these extra things just to make your life easier. And he was like, man, you wild. Come on out here. Now, at the time, I didn't know he lived in Stone Mountain. And at the time, I was living in Douglasville, which if you do not know, that is like an hour drive. And I used to pull up to his crib every single day because I wanted it that bad. And I was going there for like 2 months to the point where then he started realizing, he was like, where do you live? And I told him, he was like, dude, you know, you could do this virtually. I said, yeah, but it wouldn't be the same, right? Now, granted, now, especially after, you know, everything that's taken place in the world, we've learned to operate very, very well virtually. Like I have a team, we come in every day from 11 to 6, we have office hours. And every single day, we legit are just getting it in the office. We're making phone calls. We're talking to sellers. We're doing everything that needs to be done so that we can be able to do deals together. And I have people coming on there all the time. I had 3 people come on there today. That was just like, yo, I got a deal I need help with, or yo, I got, you know, what do I do with this deal? One of the young ladies who joined, I won't say her name because I don't know. She wants to tell her own story. But it's been months since she got a deal. She came into the office. We coached her on the numbers, and we coached her on how to say it. She heard us talking to our buyers and our sellers. Then she went out and pitched it. And then she got stuck because the agent was like, yo, can you come up to this price? And she called me back and was like, what should I do? And I told her exactly what to do. And today she's now getting that property locked up on the contract. And we're also going to help her find buyers so she can sell that property. So I would recommend something like that for you, Ortiz, because I can teach you and tell you what you need right now, but you want to find somebody or a group of individuals that you can pick this stuff up on a daily basis just from being around, right? Now, it's very simple when you're trying to make an offer to a seller, believe it or not. The number one thing that you're going to do is you're going to first find out what problem the seller is having. The seller has to have a problem in order for you to solve. If your seller does not have a problem, I can guarantee you don't have a deal. Your seller needs to have a problem. So whether that's time, whether it's, like when I say time, they need to sell it quickly, whether it's they're having an issue, they need to move, whatever that situation may be. But you need some sort of situation to cause motivation for the seller to want to sell it in the first place. Does that make sense, Ortiz?
Yep.
All right. So when you know what that situation is, it allows for you to be able to pitch an offer that would make sense. Right? Give me 1 second. It's getting loud in here. All right. So you want to make an offer that makes sense. So what I typically do is I first find out what the problem is and what the seller would like as a solution. How much money you want for the property, right? Now, some sellers will tell you, well, I don't know. And I'm going to teach you guys a trick really quick, right? And this is going to be this is a big trick right here for all the fellas who have girls that don't know what they want to eat, right? We know that struggle. If you're a man and you ever had to deal with a young lady and you're like, yo, what you want to eat? And the answer is always, I don't know, What you want to eat? And you gotta go back and forth. Like, well, you want this? No, I feel like so. Here's how you do that. Here's how you help a person get through an offer or get through a number. Very simple. It's something that I learned when I was doing my training for NLP. All right, and NLP stands for neuro linguistic programming. It's an amazing thing. I'm still doing more training, but I've gotten my certification so far. So here's how you do it. Mel thought that was funny. Mel probably be doing that all the time. She'd be like, "Yeah, I don't know what I want to eat." And he'd be like, "You want Taco Bell?" No, ew. All right, you want to sit down somewhere and eat? Yeah. And you say something, and he'd be like, "Man, I don't want that either." You'd be like, "Oh my gosh, like I'm hungry, just trying to figure out what you want to eat." All right, here's how you do it. So if I say to Kareem, I'm gonna use you in this example for real estate, but you guys can see what I'm talking about. So Kareem, listen, how much did you want to get for the property?
You trying to like? Oh, you playing?
Yeah, live and direct, bro. Let's get it.
Yeah, I know you. I thought you just go make a hypothetical. All right,
no.
100,000. It's 100,000.
So 100,000. Okay. So no. In this example, tell me you don't know. All right. So if I ask you again, like Kareem, how much did you want to get for this property?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually froze. I was getting a call. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, it was an agent, the buyer or somebody. But it's good.
Okay. So I'm gonna ask you how much you want for the property, and I want you to tell me you don't know. Okay. So Kareem, how much did you want to sell your property for?
I'm not sure. I actually don't know.
Gotcha. Yeah, I know it could be tough. Let me ask you this: if you did know, what do you think the number would be?
I'm not sure. Just just what's the number, and I'll feel safe with that.
Gotcha.
Give me a number. Yeah.
So like if I gave you if I said $3, you're saying we're good to go. That's what you're saying?
Not 3, not 3, just close to what I'm saying. What I'm asking for.
Oh, okay. What number is that?
Maybe 100.
About 100,000. Okay.
Yeah.
So did you see what I did there? First thing I said was if you did know, because he says, "Oh, I don't know." I get it. You might not know. But if you did know, what would that number be? And it caught him off guard. You could tell. He was just like, well, I don't, it's whatever. And then I put a joke in there. The reason why I put a joke in there is because a lot of times sellers watch TV and they watch movies, and in their mind, negotiation is supposed to be a serious thing, right? You write your number down on a piece of paper and you slide it over. You don't say nothing. I pick up the piece of paper up, I see the number, and I take my pen, I cross it out all crazy, and I put my number on there, slide it over to you. And then now we're going back and forth or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they see, and that's what they learn from TV. They're not trained on how to be able to communicate effectively. So when you do something that's out the ordinary, that breaks up what they're used to, it takes them out of that mindset of like, this is a negotiation, and puts them into, this is just two people talking, fam. We're just talking, right? If you did know, what would that number be? If you did know what you wanted to eat, what would you pick? Right? So when you're making an offer, again, first thing you want to be able to do is figure out, okay, what is the problem the seller is having? And then break down into how much the seller wants, what the goal of the seller is trying to accomplish. Once you do that, now it's underwriting time. Now you can start to get into the deal, work your numbers, and be able to figure out what's a good price point. So let's just use this property right here. I just randomly took this property. I have no idea what's going on with it. So this property was on the MLS. Did it sell? All right, so it's listed for rent on the MLS. Whoever the owner is, they have 9 other properties, and it looks like they rent all these out. So if you guys need a cash buyer, this would be a cash buyer. This is a company out of Arizona, and I can't tell exactly what the actual company is. They have these different ones here, but I would start with the most recent purchase, which would be this one. Australian Abundance LLC. So people ask all the time, like, man, how do I get cash buyers? There you go. This is how you do it. Australian Abundance LLC. Arizona. Company agent, Mike. There you go, look him up. All right. So let's comp this property though. Okay. Let's say the seller wanted, I don't know, it doesn't matter what the seller wants, honestly. We're gonna come in, we know it's a 4-3. So I'm gonna go down 3 months. All right, and the 29th, because today's the 29th. And we're gonna do 4 bedrooms. I'm gonna do 3 bath. All right, so here we are. We got a property that was sold, and this is the same property here when you do MLS and public records. Now, just so that we're clear on this as well, when you do property, when public record is probably the best and most accurate that you'll find, right? For example, if you see here on MLS, you see it says 215 EST estimated, but on the public record one, it actually just says 215. Public record is the most accurate data you can find. The problem with that is it's public record, which means it's going to take time in order for them to like upload the information. So that's why we use MLS more often. All right, so this property was on market for 41 days. Square footage is pretty much the same, but the year built. Ours is in 2004. This one's 1970. So is this a good comp? No, it's not a good comp. So what would I do now? I was at half a mile. I'm gonna go to a mile. See what pops up. All right, so I know the same property is still here, the red oak one, but we know we can't use that one. So we'll take that one off. Now let's look at the Sable Chase and see what year is that. That was 2004, perfect. All right, so this right now is our most accurate comp. Same year. Obviously, we want to take a look at the pictures and kind of see if it matched. This one sold in September. Well, it didn't sell actually. This is listed. It's listed on the market. But if it did sell, this would be a comp for us. So if this is my comp, now what I'm gonna do is I would find out what kind of condition this is in. And here's another trick that I'm gonna give you guys today. Learn to understand what agents are saying. If you follow this enough, you'll start to see that agents all have a way to have the conversation when they're doing their listings. If the property's in bad shape, you can tell. If they're trying to BS that the property is in bad shape, you can also tell because they'll talk about everything else. They'll talk about the location for damn near 100 lines in this thing, in this paragraph, and then they'll talk a sentence or two about the actual property. So in this case here, this one is a listing, so it was being listed for rent. So you're not going to have the same information here. Obviously, you're going to have what's for the rental, not for the house being sold. But I want to see how long did they have this property. So they bought this property in 2018. They got a 4.2 interest rate on it, which is a great loan. And they originally had brought it for $129,000. So it's a pretty good deal. So let's take a look on the inside. All right, so you see no updates, no nothing. This is also how you would do comps for a property that is a rental. You would compare it against other rentals and see what the value is. And a safe space to be is 1% for any rental properties. So now that I've done my comps, let's say in this, if this was a good example, if we actually had comps, we don't actually have comps in this one, right? You see here, we had one comp here, didn't work because the year was way too old. This one is a comp, but it doesn't count because of two main reasons. The first reason it doesn't count is because it's a rental unit, so we can't count that. The second reason it doesn't count is if you look on the map, this is number 2 right here. Our property is right here. This is our property. This is this property. You cannot cross a major street, let alone 85. That is a major highway. That's a no-go. Right? So you want to be able to make sure that you're getting better comps. Now, what does this mean? What do I do now? Okay, now in the last 3 months, I found out there were no comps. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back another 3 months, but I'm going to keep that in mind that the most recent last 3 months, there hasn't been any recent sales of properties in this area. All right. No. So let's go back another 3. 1, 2, 3. So 29. All right. So let's take off anything that we know is a rental, which is these two. And that's 3 and 4. Now here we got a property that popped up, but it crosses flat shoals. So can we use this as a comp if it crosses flat shoals?
No.
We can't. So what does this mean for us? Are there any good comps on this? No, there aren't. So what do you have to do in a scenario like this? Well, this is what I do. I reach out to agents that are in this area and I say, I have a property I'm interested in selling. What do you think you can sell this property for? And it actually be sold, right? What can we sell this property for and it actually be sold? And they're going to tell you a number. And what you have to say is, can you send me comps? Can you send me the proof on what that price is? If they were BSing you, they would not be able to send you those comps, right? But maybe they can if it is. So that's a good thing. Now, the other thing I would do is, and I wouldn't just call one agent, I would call at least 3 agents. The other thing I would do is I will call all my cash buyers. I will call at least 3 cash buyers, and I would say, I have a property, here's the pictures, here's the address, I'm still working with the seller. How much would you want to buy this property for? If I can get you this property, what would you want to pay for it? And then I let my buyers tell me a price. Ladies and gentlemen, stop making this 10 times harder for yourself. Some of you are going to stay up all night until you figure out to crack the code. What is this comp? And if the seller's pressuring you, you could talk to the seller and tell them, hey, listen, there hasn't been any recent sales in your property, in your area over the last 3 to 6 months. And that kind of scares me. So I'm trying to do more due diligence to make sure if I put your property on a contract that we can actually buy it. And I know you would appreciate that, right, Mr. Seller? What are they going to say? No? No, of course they're going to appreciate that because they want to be able to know they're going to do business with someone that can actually get the deal done. Right? Does that make a little bit more sense to you, Ortiz? Like how to be able to look up a property and then make the offer?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, again, the thing that I think is you're going to benefit the most from is just from like legit just being around making more offers and just calling sellers and just you have to get that practice in. You gotta get the practice in. There's a couple of videos that you can follow on how to make an offer to a seller. I won't bore you with any of that stuff right now. You could definitely just go on there and look those up and learn from there. But obviously, you also have access to me, right? So if you want, for example, tomorrow, you can come into my live office that I do with my team, and you can listen to us make calls and make offers to sellers all day. How's that sound?
That sounds good.
Okay, awesome. Awesome. All right, Kareem. I know your situation is a little bit different, so tell me a little bit about what you need the most help with. Do you like what I mean by that is do you currently have like a deal that you need help with right now, or what exactly you
Yeah,
want to get? You do. All right,
yeah,
let's look it up.
yeah. I actually do. All right, it's All right, yeah, we could do this one. That's cool. 2007 Glenwood, Glenwood Avenue.
You from New York, bro?
Yeah,
What part?
from Harlem.
From Harlem. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can tell, man. From Brooklyn, you know what I'm saying? When you said the 007, I said, oh, that's my homie from back. All right. What zip code is it?
30316.
So that's Atlanta, right?
Yep. We doing Atlanta, right? That's what we focusing on,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
All right.
yeah. All right, so here we go. It's a 2 bedroom, 2 bath, currently on market. Are these pictures accurate or old?
Actually, I haven't even been inside the property. Just yet. I haven't been inside, to
Okay.
be honest.
All right. So if the property is looking the exact same way as these pictures, it looks like it's in good shape. It's just outdated, right? It's a 2 bedroom, 2 bath. Year built 1949.
Yeah, 'cause I asked the agent to send pictures, but the agent just wasn't able to do so.
Okay. Any particular reason why?
Um, it wasn't a reason. She just said they just didn't have the pictures up, and she was just saying it's gonna yeah, she was just saying they just didn't have it up, and just basically put my offer in, and she was just kind of yeah, she didn't tell me anything, no reason
Okay.
why.
All right. So let's take a look at this. This is what I was talking about, right?
Mhm.
So the description it says, "Welcome to East Atlanta." That's my first red flag. Okay. If I'm the one that's shopping for the property, don't you think I already know the location?
Yeah.
That's like me looking for a home near Walt Disney World, and I get the house and I'm looking it up, and it's literally right next to Walt Disney World, and you go, "Welcome to this house that's next to Walt Disney World." Like that's not a selling feature. I already know that. That's part of
Mhm.
the reason why I'm shopping in this area, right? So whenever I see that, that's already a big issue for me, and I already know what the next couple of lines are going to be. So here you see it. Don't miss this opportunity to enjoy true Atlanta, in-town living, electric city, blah 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 blah. Nothing about this has anything to do with the property. They're puffing it up,
Yeah.
which tells me what? If the property was already fixed, let me show you guys what I mean by this. This is like gonna blow your mind. This is one of the reasons why I absolutely love PropStream, because PropStream enables you to see this. Let's stay with Atlanta. Wait, oh, just so. It's not giving me the details. All right, so I gotta go with market. Is it on market? And let's do Decatur. Maybe this one's a high end. No, it's not working. Man, that sucks. I wanted to give you guys a good example of it. Try one more. All right, perfect. All right, look at the difference. Listen to the description. This stunning home will captivate your attention. Move right into a freshly renovated space. Spectacular local builder. Top to bottom, all the right choices made on this one. Upscale lighting, perfectly designed tile work. Like literally, all this right here is describing the house. They had one short sentence that had nothing to do with the location and all about the property. And then everything else is talking about what was done to the house. And then they go into more detail. Then they go into more, all this. The only time she talks the agent talks about location is right here. Look at this. You will love this peaceful neighborhood that is located close to shopping, schools, and restaurants. Do you see the difference? Check this one
Yeah.
out. This one is telling us location, 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 and then it says ideal property for first-time home buyer or excellent investment property for the savvy investor. That is code words for this beat needs work. So if you can't get the pictures, because sometimes we look at properties and there are no pictures.
Yeah.
No one's been there. I mean, this agent I feel is just being lazy, but there's no. They said there's no pictures, so we can just get the information from what they wrote. Whenever I see this type of talk, oh, okay, this is a fixer-upper. Then you see this thing right here with a little TLC. Okay, I want you guys to all understand a little TLC in today's market is at least $25,000 to $45,000. That don't sound little, do it?
No.
But if you leave it up to an agent, they're gonna hit you with the razzle dazzle, and you're gonna be messed up. All right. So needs your special touch. This will be everything you're looking for and more. Spacious front porch. Imagine sitting, drinking your coffee, enjoying it. Like what the hell is this? None of this have anything to do with what I'm looking for, right? Like this is wild. And then here's the worst part. All of this located across the street. Then they start talking about location again. Hot damn, this property sucks. This property is bad. You already know this property is trash, which is great. That's what we're looking for. But I'm just trying to show you guys like secrets on how to be able to like get more information than sometimes the agent or the whoever is giving you. All right. So now that we know, like, oh, you know what? It's a good possibility this property needs everything, essentially a full rehab. Right. Last year, the year built was 1949. If we had pictures, we would try to figure out, what was a recent update. This looks like it was updated, maybe the floors, the thing, Harvard. So it could have been 2000s, early part 2000s. Right. So I'm like, all right, so we got to do at least a full upgrade here. All right, boom. So now we know that is. Now we can start talking about anything else. So now we want to go into comps. When we get back to our regular, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now another thing you guys could do is you could use the pen. So if you want, you can come here. Let's open this up. You can grab the pen. Where is it? I can't see the pen on this thing. Maybe it's not available on the big screen. It should be. So what you want to do is come here, grab a pen, and just go like this. Boom. 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 All right. So now, why did I do this? I'm gonna tell you guys why I did this instead of the normal, up to a quarter mile or half mile. I did this because if you look here, you see 20 is the backside of these properties. And then here is another major street, which means if there were houses here, 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 I can't use as comps.
Yeah.
So there's no need for me to go do the whole like, okay, whatever. No, I could just draw it out. If I wanted to, I could have came down here to try to grab anything that's down here, but it doesn't really look like there's much down here. But yeah, let's do that. So let's clear this out. And here we go. Let's do it again. So we're gonna go boom, boom. Wait. See how we can do this so it makes sense. There you go. All right. So comp wise, we can only use what's in this little triangle right here. All right. So let's see if PropStream can figure it out for us. All right. Boom. Just to double check, there was nothing down here anyway. All right. So now what I want to do is change my dates. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. 29th. Boom. And this was a 2-bedroom.
Yep. 2-2.
2-bath. All right. Let's see what we got. See if we're cooking with grease here. I hope you guys are getting some good nuggets out of here, helping you understand your market better.
So as far as when you comping, do you use Privy, or you rather use Privy or PropStream with that?
So I use any and everything.
Okay.
And
Just
the
use
reason,
it. Yeah.
I mean, think about it. Like, what if, like, all right, here's a good example. What if I'm somewhere where I don't have access to Privy and I don't have access to PropStream? I know how to comp off of Zillow.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You as an investor, you want to be able to do what you do best. I don't want anyone here that is in the sound of my voice to hear me, and I want you to understand something. Do not rely on systems. Rely on yourself. You being able to know how to use different systems is a benefit to you. So that's what you want to do, right? So I first trained myself in PropStream. Privy came out, trained myself in Privy. You know, I've been in G with Zillow. It's all the same. So no matter where I'm at, I can do it. Now, sometimes I'll look at all of them just to see if anything is missing, right? But also for the most part, like, you know, we have agents that work for our company. We also have a brokerage. So, I have access to MLS. So that kind of supersedes a lot of this. So here we go. Let's just do MLS data. I should have just checked them off over there. But yeah, MLS data is always going to be the best data because, again, it's just faster. It's in real time. But public record is the final say so. All right, so we got these 2 properties here that sold last month. That's good. All right, we like that. This one here got pictures, so we're going to take a look at that one in a second. But let's double check. Let's see if the year and all that works. Now, granted, I'm doing this because for whatever reason, my little toggle thing here isn't working. And I think it was Michelle that tried to help me out, but Michelle has given up on me because she's like, he ain't going to get it. Let's just move on. But no, so here we are. So this took 54 days on market. This took 61 days on market. Is that important to know? Yes. Because your investor, your buyer is looking at that. Like, all right, if I buy this, how long would it take? Depending on the work. Like, how long would it take for it to sell? All right. So that's the first thing. And you got 3 threes, your property's a 2-2. But see, the square footage is the same. So technically, we could make this property into a 3-2. That's good news. All right. Let's slide this down. Year built, 1949, our property. This property, 1949. This property, 1948. Woo! You got the best comps in the world right here, my guy. This is it. So now let's just take a look to see if we can compare apples to apples. So this property here, let's open this up. And this property here, let's open this up. Now this one already told us there's no pictures on it. But what we can do is open this up, search this in Google, go to maps. Should have just went to Zillow, but take the little homie, drop him right in front of the crib. All right, so where are we at? Where's this house at? It's right here. Which one are you? I think it's this house here. All right, this is that's 1711. Oh no, 1712. So it's not this house. Is this house 1712? Is that you? No, I was right. It was that house. Sorry. Normally, when you find the house, this see it moved. It changed now. So let's see. Yeah, I think it's this house here. All right, so then this one's the one that sold it took 54 days, then sold for 297,000. And then this one right here, this took 61 days. Let's read the description. Don't miss this charming East Atlanta bungalow overlooking. Okay, we've seen a bunch of extras. All right, there we go. You'll appreciate 3 large bedrooms, 2 bath, full size laundry, double backyard. Um, in the kitchen, you'll find white sink. Okay, so far I haven't seen anything about an update or an upgrade or anything like that. All right, so I'm gonna be under the impression before I even look at the pictures. I'm under the impression that this did not get rehab. They probably just sold it as is. What happened here? All right, so here we go. Let's take a look. All right, and judging by how many pictures they're giving us of outside, it has a pretty good size yard. So here's the inside, pretty decent. Kitchen definitely did not get the update. Floors look really, really good. Bathroom's just outdated, but good. Kitchen's the really big problem. So this is cool, right? So now, here's what I'm talking about, right? Now that we know this sold pretty much as is, right, Kareem? Like this isn't going to be one that we're going to say like, oh, this is the ARV and this, that, and third. We don't have to do that. We saw what this just sold recently about a month ago, and it pretty much sold as is. So my question is going to be, is your property in worse shape than this or better than this?
I actually look around the same. I mean, you could go through the pictures. Let me see. Yeah, but actually, this looks a little better than the one I had.
All right, so this looks better than the one you have. So
Yeah.
what I would say to that is, you can't sell your property. You can't get it under contract for this price, right? You got to get it considerably lower. This sold for 350, right? And the other property that one had sold for that sold for 297. And we don't know what condition it is, but I'm assuming it's in worse condition than this one that sold for 350, right? All right. So in that regard, what I would do now is I would just make the decision like, okay, 297, then I know I gotta be much lower than 297. So I would probably start at like I'll probably take like maybe 30% off of the 297. Right?
Okay.
Let's calculate. So here, 297 minus 30%, 207,900. I'll probably try to get it somewhere in the contract around 200 to 207.
Okay.
And what was it that you were going to get on the contract for?
I was going for it was 260.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's too high.
Too high, right?
Because remember, the market that we're in,
Yeah.
we only looking as an investor. I'm telling you guys, we're only looking at properties that look real, real good. You know what I'm saying? Like just real, like one I think twice, like, oh yeah, I like that. Let me get that.
Yeah.
Right? Because we got so much to choose from. So if you be like, yo, it's 260, come on, make something. I'm like, nah, fam, I can get better than that. Even if I gotta wait, it's worth waiting, because if I buy that 260 and the market ends up continuing to go down like it would, because interest rates still have to go up, and houses not being sold in this area, so I'm holding on to it long. I'm setting myself up to get beat up here in the market. That's what investors are thinking. That's how they're going about their thought process. And this is why it's important for you guys to learn that in your market. This is why I'm doing, like I said, the event, doing another plug for the event. That's why I'm doing the event, so that you guys can have relationships and learn how to be able to do this that I'm talking about, so you can make more money. Now, why do I want you guys to learn it so bad? Because my end goal is not for you guys to just be sticking around doing single family deals all day long. My end goal is to have you guys understand the tools that you need, so that not only you can make money, but we can make money together on wholesale deals. But we get out of wholesaling, or we just do it on the side, or it's just running in the background, and we start investing in the bigger things together. We start investing into multifamilies together. So we're gonna go from, hey, yeah, Eddy, I was doing a JV with Eddy. I did a deal with Eddy, to we just brought 400 apartments, 400 doors with Eddy as a partner, right? So that's why my goal is to like help the people in my community, in my backyard. If I get y'all straight, and we can go get the bigger things together, then we really playing with we're really cooking with grease. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I have a question though.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. My question, as far as if I'm trying to find an ARV of it, I thought I was looking at houses that's fixed up, and then kind of comparing it to that, and then finding my ARV from there.
Absolutely.
Like finding the
Yeah.
3, and
You 1000% correct, but you don't have the ARV because none of these houses are fixed up.
Okay, but
these
yeah,
houses were sold as is. Remember, ARV stands for after repair value. And from the ARV, you take 3 ARVs, or you take 3 properties, and you divide them by 3, and you get your MAO, your maximum allowable offer. Okay? Wait, no, sorry. You divide by 3 and you get your ARV. Your maximum allowable offer is after you do all
after you do repairs and
that's
your
your maximum allowable offer.
And your wholesale fee or whatever.
Right. So we're not even talking about that right now. We're talking about the ARV. But if there hasn't been any properties that has been repaired, can you get an ARV? You can't.
I mean, I was looking at Privy. I seen a couple properties that was sold. I mean, sometimes because before I had PropStream, and I switched over to Privy, and I thought Privy was a little better. It shows like a little more. But I seen a couple fixed up properties that sold high over there. That's why I thought it was a good deal as far as the number I had it for, and I was taking a look. But all right, I'll just
let's look at it. Did I close Privy down already? Yeah, I think it did. Let's look at it on Privy then real quick.
So I actually seen the property that went like high. It was like the same structure, and then they improved it until like a 4.3. But it came out at first when they bought it. It was a
this is your property, right?
Yeah, yep.
The pictures on here is 5.
Nah, this is for. Oh yeah, I was looking at something else. Yeah, but this is it. Yes. I'm sorry. My bad. Yeah, this is the property.
Okay. So like I said, it's just outdated. This looks horrible. I'll tell you this right now. This is.
Yeah, it was one thing. It was just a hole inside the for one of the bedrooms down to the living room. It's like a hole in the roof, like in the ceiling going down. That was basically just the only thing, and just needed a little fix up with that.
Okay. So they trying to sell it for 310. How long has it been listed?
It was 11 days when I first looked at it, so it's probably about 20 something now, probably 20.
Okay. Did it have a price decrease yet?
What was that? I'm sorry.
Did it have a price decrease yet?
No, not yet.
Okay. So
I just got it once it's there.
It's been listed for like 20 something days at 310. And is this pending because of you or somebody else has it?
Nah, it's because of me.
Okay. So they had it listed for 310 for 20 something days and nobody got on the contract. You see my point?
Yeah, I could definitely see.
Too high.
Okay.
They got it too high. But let's do this. Look. So this right here. Now, what price point did I tell you?
You said 297 was the last.
No, but what price did I say get on the contract at?
Oh, you said 200.
All right, yeah, I said 200 or 200, 207, right?
Yeah.
So this one sold back in March of this year, which was the crackhead months. Right? I call it the crackhead months because it was like everything was on sale. It was like crack out here. But this one sold for 326. But it originally sold for 274. 247. This one right here, 250 last month. And it's sold now for 350. Where is it? Right here. Right?
Yep.
So hear me out. Watch this. I'm gonna show you how this thing works. So this sold for 250 originally. When did they buy it though? Originally they had this property for a while. All right. But originally they bought it for 237. So here's my point to you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you should probably be at 200 to 207. If we were going back in time, you see the properties that sold here, investor price that they got, everybody seems to be selling for above 300. But they brought it for 250, 247. This one sold for 279. If I took my calculator go here. If I take let's say 250, and I minus 30%. Now 30% is being reasonable, but you can minus whatever.
You minus it at 30% because of what?
Because the market's still gonna go down.
Okay.
Right? Like the market's not gonna like continue to go up. It's still gonna go down. So I wouldn't do 30% in this area. I would actually do something like 15%. So let's do that again. So let's do 250 minus 15% equals 212,500.
Okay.
That's not far away from the 200, 207 I told you.
All right, because usually when I try to get my max reliable offer, I get the ARV, and then I'm usually minus it. That's the reason why I was asking you what's the percentage, like going in the in the area. Usually I do
this right here is it. So thank you for bringing that up. Let me clear this up. The 15% I just did, or the 30% that I would have did if it was a different area, that has nothing to do with the max reliable offer or nothing like that. That's just me figuring out, hey, listen, if the values of properties, what they're selling for, is continuing to go down based off of the trend that the higher the interest rates goes, the less the value the property can sell for. We're at 7% right now interest rate. We have another interest rate hike that's coming, and it's pretty much guaranteed it's going to go up to 8%. That means the values of properties are going to go down again. So if I'm thinking I buy a property and I can sell it for 100 grand, but interest rates go up, I'm not going to sell it for 100 grand. I'm actually going to end up selling it for less than 100,000. Is that making sense?
Yeah, it's making sense.
So think of interest rates. Think of it like a seesaw. All right. Let's see if I can get like the most hideous drawing here for you guys. All right, check this out. So think of it like a seesaw. All right. So here you have here you have prices of homes, and you have the interest rates. As interest rates go up, prices of homes go down. 2 years ago, prices for homes were what? Up, right?
Mm-hmm. The interest rates was
How
down there.
wasn't people getting like 2% interest rates?
Mm.
And wasn't it like crazy hard to find a property because there wasn't enough out here?
Yeah.
And wasn't people selling their properties for like super high prices, which I call the crackhead months? Wasn't that all true? And so it's a seesaw. Now that interest rates are going up, prices of the houses are going to go down. And we've already seen that take place. So what I'm saying to you is this: if you are looking to sell a house to an investor, you have to keep in mind what are things that they're thinking about. When they're buying a property, they're knowing, okay, if I buy it for 100 and I could possibly sell it for 150, but if interest rates go up again, 150 is not going to be the same. It's probably going to be more like 120.
Yeah.
115. So I got to take that into consideration. So where do I take that into consideration? On my buy price. You know how they say you make your money when you buy? It's the exact same thing.
Okay. All right. So
Uh,
look. So All right. So as soon as I'm trying to get my, as soon as I'm trying to get my MAO, like I'll find my ARV and then I'll minus it times the whatever percent. Like it'll be like 66%. That's usually what I do. I find the ARV and then I minus it times 66, and then I minus the repairs and then my wholesale fee, and then that's my maximum reliable offer. It,
okay.
it is the way I'm doing it wrong, or like should I adjust some stuff? Because that's usually how I
No,
do it.
the
Usually,
the
that's
way the way you're doing it is not wrong, but it could be better if you take into consideration interest rates. So whatever you think it could sell at, it's probably going to sell maybe somewhere between 15, 25, 30% cheaper than that. And you'll be doing even better if you find out from a cash buyer what would they pay for the property. Because then you got to do all that math.
okay.
You see what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
listen, you guys don't need like 10,000 cash buyers. Those days are over. You'll be hard pressed to find 10,000 cash buyers that are buying property in today's market anyway.
yeah.
Right? You need 5 cash buyers that will be able to like get you all the details that they need so that you can be able to present them properties that you know they're going to buy. And the best part is they'll tell you like, look, this is what I'm buying at, right? My guy Franklin says also good to consider future interest rates that will be higher. Absolutely. Personally, I think interest rates could go up to 10%. That's what I think. Franklin is also on my team. He's actually the disposition manager on my team. So if you guys have any deals that you need help moving, reach out to Franklin. He is running my entire dispo system, and he's also an agent, so he can help you understand why your number is boo boo. In fact, he might come on the show um, that we talked about. Here's why your deal is trash. Hashtag respectfully, and help you guys out with understanding if your deal is a good deal or if it's boo boo. I think that's gonna be the phrase that we use. It's gonna be, oh, your deal is boo boo. I don't know. Still trying it out. All right, my guy Claudio. What up, bro? Eddie, I have opportunities to purchase sub twos above ARV value that are great deals. How would you navigate those deals when you're open to paying retail or above? What is too high regardless? Man, this is a great question. Thanks for coming on board. So, when you're buying deals creative, there is no such thing as paying too much for a deal. Let me say that again. There is no such thing as paying too much for a deal. How you figure out if it's a good payment amount or whatever is depending on 2 factors: the terms. Remember, it's always about terms when we're talking creative. So if you have a 2 bedroom, 1 bath house, 1950 built, and you want $1 million for it, I will gladly pay you $1 million right now. But you got to give me my terms. So I'm going to extend it for 60, 70 years, and I'll pay you a monthly fee of whatever that amount comes to. preferably I'll do it at 0% interest, right? So yeah, he says exactly. So here we go. 2.7 fixed interest, 28 years left. So basically they just got the loan, but it's a really good loan. And then 400K ARV, which is decent. And I say decent because I had somebody else reach out to me. It was like, hey, what about ARV? Should I focus on ARV? And I'm like, if you're doing creative, ARV doesn't matter until the end, because it depends on what kind of buyer is going to buy that house. You have some buyers right now that are looking for depreciation assets, so they can care less what the ARV is. They're going to hold that property as long as they can to be able to get the depreciating side of it. They sometimes don't even care if it's making any money. They can care less about the cash flow. So it just depends. Again, this is why I be beating this drum. You got to know who your buyer is. You guys have to have a relationship with your buyers so that you know exactly what they're looking for and how to be able to make it work. So he says 400K 2020 air, 2020 build, has sick cash flow, 0 repairs needed, 100K seller note, but at what percent? So you said Claudio, can you come on here? If I sent you a link, can you come on? Shout out to all the people jumping in. What up, my guy? I really feel bad for the people on Facebook because it always disrespects y'all like this. It'd be like, what's up, Facebook user? Like, damn, they don't even get a name? Jeez Louise. All right, I'm gonna send you a link. I wonder if I can send it to you on here. Let me see if I can send it to you on here real quick. All right, I don't think so. I'm gonna send it to you in a Facebook chat. That way you can come on and kind of explain the deal a little bit better. People can hear it. If you guys don't know my guy, you definitely need to. Super sharp individual. I remember actually, I want to say like a year ago when I was getting ready to kind of take a different path into our business, and I wanted to make it more efficient. I wanted to make it run as smooth as possible. My guy Claudio was one of the guys I reached out to who set me straight. I just shot it over to you, bro. Who set me straight. So if you guys are doing any creative deals, I'll let him come on and kind of tell what markets he's in. Definitely want to reach out to him, connect with him. Again, super sharp, knows numbers and this, that, and the third. That's one of the joys that we get when we built this community, this thing of ours. We can connect to each other and be able to get things done. So, all right, here's my guy. What up, bro?
What's up, everybody? How you doing?
Doing fantastic, man. Fantastic.
Thanks for having me on.
Oh, man, thanks for coming through. So tell me a little bit about what the deal, because you said the seller wants a 100K note, which is good, right? And do they want 0 down?
They're looking at, maybe 20K down or something, but the entry makes sense. It's not so much about what he's going to get down. It's going to be more like, switch my camera here. Yeah, basically he's looking at a 245K mortgage. He's got some equity in there, so I'm going to give him a 100K note for it, right? So I'm going to probably raise some private money for the entry for the 20, 30K down payment he's going to want, or I can just do 0 down payment, right? And just increase that purchase price, which is kind of why I ask, kind of what is too high, would you say, even? Because he's looking for 360. He's not going to get it on the market, He was looking for 380. He's I think behind that time. And I think that I would even pay him 400K, right? If you can give me a 0 entry, I don't really care.
Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, if he's giving you that, pay him 400K. No problem.
And that's what I mean, right? With these sellers, I feel like they have a pretty unreasonable expectation of what they really want for their properties, Eddy. So I feel like if you really go crazy on the purchase price, that may really just connect with them. And as long as the debt structure makes sense, right? As long as you can cash flow, I guess it won't really matter.
That's the biggest part right there, right? And my guy D just said, like, yo, if we need to fund it, hit me up. So we'll definitely do that. So that's the biggest thing right there. So when we're talking about the cash flow, what's your exit on this? Is it just regular rental that's cash flowing?
Well, that's the whole thing, right? It can be a rental at like 2,400, and the PITI, I think it's going to come down to like 1,500, 1,600, something like that. I don't have the full figures 100%, but I'd probably live in it. You know, I'd probably live in it. It's just a beautiful house. It's brand new, doesn't need any repairs, and it's in
Yeah.
a really hot area. So I would probably just move in myself with
Perfect.
20K.
So if that's the scenario, and I'll tell you why I asked that in a second. But if that's the
Cash flow is not
scenario,
important, right?
it's not.
Yeah.
It's not. You know what I mean? Now, if it was, and I say this because a lot of times I get people to send me deals. Sometimes they're like, "Yo, it's a great deal. Cash flow is crazy. You could do Airbnb," and I'm like, first of all, I feel like Airbnb is under attack right now, right?
I agree.
And the only way you're going to be able to play in the Airbnb space is if you're willing to put a bunch of money into the property and turn it into an experience. Now, that can be an experience based off how it looks, or it could be an experience of like when I go to this property, it comes with a butler, it comes with a chef, I get a massage every night, like one of those type of things. That's what's going to survive on Airbnb because everything else is getting like torn apart. So, for example, in Vegas out of all places, two separate individuals can't own Airbnb or operate Airbnb out of their houses if they live on the same block.
Yeah, I've seen that. That's crazy. Their rules are super stringent.
That's why. And then how do you figure out who gets it? It's a raffle system. And we all know raffle systems aren't always the fairest. So it's a bunch of stuff. So for me personally, Airbnb is a bonus method, right? It's like, oh yeah, and we could Airbnb. But what's the basic rent? If everything hits the fan tomorrow, what can we rent this bad boy out at? And will we still be making enough money to at least cover our debt?
Exactly.
Because we can ride it out on appreciation if that's the level that we're at, but at least make sure that the debt is not, because what you don't want to be is to have a bunch of properties and you're covering the debt yourself, and now you're doing it, but you created $6,000 of debt over 2-3 properties. It's like,
yeah,
what's the point of that?
You go backwards quickly, right? And I do agree. I think that's easy to overlook. Sometimes we're trying to underwrite these deals and we want it to work for Airbnb because we want an Airbnb, right? But it's just you got to look at the rental figures because you just may have to go back to a long-term rental situation.
Yeah. And that may even be better. Like one of the things that we're doing, so like people who are sending me deals now, like a lot of deals that they're sending me, they know, and I'm doing two main things. I mean, obviously, I think everybody kind of sees the writing on the wall. We're building up and gaining to do multifamily. But the other thing that we've been doing and we're continuing to do is affordable housing. So it's like, hey, look, if shit hit the fan tomorrow, regular rent or not, I have something coming in that's not going to make me worry about the other aspects of my business.
Absolutely.
But I like that deal, bro. Where's that deal at?
It's in Houston, Texas.
Bro, you should jump on that, man.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, man. I think if you know what you're looking for, you can really find all these deals. I think sometimes we're looking for ugly houses a little bit more so than not, but I think you can also find great marketing, man, with these newer builds. A lot of these loans 2-3 years ago, a lot of people are like switching it up, divorces. It's a different ball game. Some pre-foreclosures, but they have great debt on them. And with that's spread that we have now, I mean, you can do wraps. I feel like wraps are going to come back into play a little bit more.
Yeah.
So I'm probably just going to take this one down, maybe just, again, pay a private money lender, a couple $100 on top, right? And I feel like you're under there for like probably under $2,000. You're still under market rate. You're still buying yourself a new property, no credit, no cash even. Right?
I don't see the loss in this one, my guy.
Yeah. Oh, I think they're everywhere, man. That's the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
How many of these can I move into, right?
As many as you need to.
One.
Listen, if you need me to move into something, let me know. I'll move. I'll move into it.
Let's go. Awesome.
But
I appreciate it.
That's the truth for sure, my guy, for sure. So that's essentially how you do it. And this was a really good example because what Claudio was able to do is show you guys like, here's how an investor is looking at something. Here's how they're thinking. A lot of times you guys may be running into deals and you're like, oh, they want too much. Not understanding like, no, we can offer them what they want. So there's a training I'm going to do that's going to break down this triangle, right? And this triangle, I think I call it a triangle of a deal. And a triangle of a deal has 3 parts, right? And every deal that you do, all 3 parts are involved. The question is, are you going to get the part that's most important to you? And the other person is going to get the part that's most important to them plus one. So in this
exactly. I love it.
example, right, Claudio's like, listen, you want your $400,000? Cool. That's important to you. You can have that. I want terms. I want to be able to pay you that $400,000 in a way that's beneficial to me, and that will still be getting you what you want, because your other options will not get you what you want.
Exactly. A lot
That
of lowballs
is
right now.
how it works. Yep.
So,
So
the thing is too, I think if you can explain to the seller why it is that you're trying to do what you're trying to do, I feel like their cards come down as well.
yep.
The reason why I'm looking to do this, Mr. Seller, again, is you have a great mortgage on there. You really wouldn't want to make any sense for me to get another loan to pay off another loan, right? Like Pay says, in that situation, the only person making money is the bank. I'd rather just do a deal with you, give you that full purchase price you're looking for. As an investor, I'm looking to come in as low as possible, but hey, you let me know where you need to be at, and potentially we can create a note for your equity as well. And we can talk about how we can cash that out either quickly or over time. And of course, the more time you give me, the more money I can give you as well. So I feel like your conversations are going to go a lot better. You're not lying. It's true exactly what you're saying. But then they're so curious, and then you actually spend your time explaining, and now they're actually intrigued, and they're looking to do that deal.
Yeah, it's a win-win-win type of scenario, especially when you've already done the right things. You've been, like you're saying, you told the truth, you've been transparent, they trust you, they're willing to do this business with you, because it is a partnership in a sense, right? Like, we may not see each other or speak to each other, but the system is set up, right, that we'll be friends forever because of this particular property. So
right. And one last thing too, man, with the realtors right now, I think they're going to be a little bit under threat, with like the listings going to be reductions, right? Not meeting sellers' expectations. They're going to be under a little bit of a more stressful situation, I guess you could say. But they care about interest rate as well. It's like, hey, my seller's willing to seller finance you, but traditionally we're going to want to see a higher percentage. So they're asking me these things. They want to know how much percentage can we do on that seller note. Well, you tell me. You ask your client what he would like to do. And again, it's like you're giving the realtor what they want, which is like, well, if we're going to do a seller finance, then we're going to want a higher percentage than what the mortgage is at. Which again, some of them, that's how they go about it. They're very traditional, right? So you can definitely give the realtor the interest rate for the note, and give the seller the purchase price, and that should really get them working on your side. And at that point, I feel like you can come your way and just maybe increase the purchase price on that note and just do a 0%, right? Or just get it to more of a manageable 0 to 2% note by just increasing that purchase price. Because again, you're just playing with the numbers, right?
Just making it work.
So
that's it. Just making it work.
Love it, man. Thank you so much. Appreciate you having me on.
No problem, bro. Of course. Kareem, did you have a question?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I have a question. Say if you do terms, like how would you pay the agent? Well, you wouldn't pay the agent, but how would the agent, get paid if you, doing terms?
So typically how we do it, we pay the agent still. So they still make their percentage. It just depends on the type of deal too. So some deals, like if the agent was like not going to make any money at all, sometimes it's easier to just pay the agent like, hey, look, I'll pay you a referral fee, or I'll pay you $500, and I'll just continue to transaction the deal with the seller. Then that works. Again, it kind of just depends on what the agent did or did not do. But you can work out the agreement so that you can pay the agent their full commission.
Okay.
I think the numbers matter, right? But if there's enough spread on there, pay the agent what they want. Why? Because the agent would be like, this was dope. How many more of these can I send this guy? Now I just got an agent on my team, right? Now, if it's a deal where, like I said, the agent don't work, then it don't work. But here, Claudio's actually bringing this up. So he says he likes to pay them. They get paid full commission at close, like 3%. So that particular deal is going to get closed. And you add it as part of the entry fee. So you can actually do the calculation and figure it all out there. Now, he's in a good position to do that because there's 0 repairs on the property. So he's literally walking in the property. It's like a brand new car, right? You don't gotta do no real repairs. He's gonna have to put some money aside for like a war chest or something like that, because whatever could happen, whatever bad could happen. But he's not coming in saying, hey, before I do anything, I gotta spend 40, 50,000 to get this to be just regular. It's already set. So he has enough spread there to be able to pay a commission, and it makes the agent happy.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah.
But all right. Well, Listen, this was episode 15. I want to thank you all for rocking. Thank my guy Claudio. Thank Mr. Ortiz. Thank Kareem for coming on again. We got a bunch of stuff coming down the pipeline. Please just make sure you tune in, tap in, share this over to all your friends and family that's looking to do business. We're going to have some amazing things happening in Atlanta and nationwide. And we just want you guys to be part of it. We want you guys to be able to rock with us and make things happen. So with that being said, each and every one of you guys, I love you. Stay charged up. Peace.